is Wednesday, July 8th, 2026, and this is The High Road, Logistics and Leadership. I'm Elena Rossi, and I'm here to make sure cool tech doesn't distract us from physical risk.
This is Dan Miller.
I'm Jules Sterling.
And I'm Buck Reynolds. We have a great show for you today.
Yesterday, we were all talking about that Suez Canal pivot and the CBP's new forced labor guidance, which is basically a paperwork nightmare for anyone with a global supply chain.
It's more than a nightmare, Jules. It's a liability minefield. But today, we have to talk about how the summer peace in the Middle East just went up in smoke.
The play here's pretty grim. The U.S. Treasury officially pulled the plug on General License X yesterday. That was the waiver allowing Iranian oil sales.
The thing is, once those waivers go, the pressure on the Strait of Hormuz just skyrockets. And we're already seeing it.
3 tankers were hit in just 24 hours, right? Including that Qatari LNG vessel, the Al Ruqayyat.
Well, the military response was almost immediate. CENTCOM hit over 80 targets, coastal radars, missile batteries, the works.
Look, the market reacted like a linebacker hitting a rookie. Brent crude was sitting pretty at $72, and now diesel is pushing $6 in some spots.
I was fueling up this morning, and it's nearly a 50% jump over the last month in some of the premium markets.
And while the carriers are feeling the squeeze, Shell is laughing all the way to the bank. They just posted nearly $7 billion for Q2.
$7 billion? That's massive.
They're the experts at volatility management. Their trading desks are basically playing a different game than the rest of us.
Well, if I may, they aren't just playing a game. They're capitalizing on the supply chain disruption while the actual operators are left holding the bag.
My thing is, how is a small fleet supposed to hedge against a missile strike? You can't. You just pay the diesel surcharge and pray.
It makes the Suez reopening we talked about yesterday look a bit, premature? If Hormuz is a war zone, the whole region is a hornet's nest.
I suppose that's why insurance premiums for those lanes are hitting levels we haven't seen since the first wave of the conflict.
Speaking of things that are hitting levels we haven't seen, look at the USMCA. The sunset crisis is officially here.
USTR Jameson Greer formally declined to extend the deal for 16 years. We're moving to an annual review process now.
An annual review? That sounds like a recipe for 100 different ways to mess up a cross-border load.
It's permanent negotiation, Buck. It keeps Mexico and Canada on their toes, but it makes long-term planning basically impossible for shippers.
Actually, Toyota already made their move. They're dumping $3.6 billion into San Antonio to move Tacoma production out of Mexico.
It's a defensive play. They were looking at an $8 billion tariff bill if the trade pact fell apart. San Antonio is the new safe harbor.
I've been hauling parts to Baja for a long time. Moving that entire assembly line to Texas is a monster task.
But it adds 2,000 jobs to the Texas corridor, right? It's a huge economic win for the region, even if the logistics are a headache.
My thing is, we're seeing reshoring happen in real time because the trade risk has become greater than the labor savings.
Exactly. It's not just Toyota. Everyone is looking at their North American footprint and realizing that Mexico is no longer a given for cheap production.
And with Mexico's electronic declaration deadline looming, it's just one more layer of complexity to deal with.
The thing is, you can't just move a factory overnight. It takes years. This is a 5-year pivot Toyota is starting.
Well, actually, they want full output by 2030. They're effectively exiting the Mexico First era for mid-size pickups entirely.
Here's the play. If you think trade politics are messy, you should see what happened on I-70 in Indiana yesterday.
You talking about that tungsten powder heist?
$2.9 million worth of it. Stolen in Pennsylvania by a guy using a fake identity and a stolen carrier name.
Wait, $3 million for a load of powder? Is it that valuable?
It's high value to weight, Jules. Critical for electronics and AI data center hardware. It's a prime target for organized crime.
Look, this wasn't a smash and grab. This was strategic theft. They used AI to scrape a carrier's data and forge the documents.
So the broker thought they were hiring a legitimate fleet, but it was a ghost?
I mean, that's exactly what happened. But the tech actually saved the day for once. The flock safety cameras flagged the truck in Greenfield.
I suppose we should mention the Pennsylvania authorities were the ones who uploaded the fraudulent profile to the national database first.
It's a goal line stand for law enforcement. If that data isn't shared, the truck just disappears into a warehouse in Chicago.
It's sort of a high-stakes game of digital identity, right? Verisk CargoNet is saying strategic theft is up 1,500% since 2021.
1,500? That's insane. I remember when cargo theft was just someone cutting a padlock in a dark lot.
My thing is, if you aren't using multi-factor verification for your drivers, you are basically leaving the door unlocked for these syndicates.
Look, before we get into the market rebound and the Iron Lady's latest warnings, we should probably thank the guy who keeps the lights on here.
Oh, right. Before we move on, a quick note from our sponsor.
Strategic logistics requires world-class engineering. This show is powered by the stack developed by Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media.
Support the architect behind the code. Visit our Patreon at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia for a free trial and access to our daily briefing PDF.
I'm still not sure what a stack is, but Eric seems like a smart fella. If it keeps Jules' calendar on time, I'm all for it.
It takes more than a stack for that, Buck.
Now it's time for Iron Lady's Verdict, our Wednesday segment, where we analyze the most operationally significant regulatory risks facing the industry. This week, the gavel is falling on two major fronts: federal safety recalls and a landmark Supreme Court shift in broker liability.
Is this about the Montgomery versus Carib transport case?
It is. The shield is gone, Jules. The Supreme Court gave a unanimous 9-0 ruling that basically ends the era of broker preemption.
Look, this is the one where Justice Barrett said choosing a carrier is an act of motor vehicle safety, so it falls under state law.
Exactly. For years, brokers like C.H. Robinson argued they couldn't be sued for negligent hiring because of federal law. Not anymore.
So if a broker hires a guy with a conditional rating and he has a wreck, the broker is on the hook now?
In most states, yes. Caribe Transport had a conditional rating when they were hired for the load that cost a man his leg. The broker ignored the data.
And that data is sitting right there in the FMCA database. It takes 60 seconds to check.
In truth, top agencies keep removing probationary haulers out of lists right now. Lacking acceptable status means total erasure regarding giant firms.
It's so sort of final, right? Smaller fleets are going to get squeezed out if they can't get their audits up to date.
My thing is, we also have to address NHTSA Recall 26V402. It's hitting 750,000 Ford service vehicles.
The rollaway risk? I was just reading about that in the shop.
It's more than just a rollaway. A software glitch can command the parking pawl to engage while the truck is still moving.
Whoa, while it's moving? That'll strip the gears out in half a second.
It does. It destroys the internal mechanism. So then the next time your driver shifts into park and walks away, the vehicle, unable to hold itself, rolls away.
I mean, that's why you always pull the manual parking brake. Every time. No excuses.
But fleets have gotten lazy, Buck. They trust the park-by-wire systems. Ford already has 24 reports of property damage and 9 injuries.
So the verdict is basically pull the brake and check your safety scores, or you're out of a job?
I suppose you could put it that way. The Iron Lady's verdict is this: the era of transactional logistics, where you only look at the price, is dead. Iron Lady's verdict. That's a wrap.
Look, even with the legal drama, the market is actually finding its feet. The June LMI, the Logistics Managers Index, just hit 71.1.
That's the first time it's been over 70 in 4 years.
Right. It means utilization is at an 8-year high. Shippers are scrambling to move inventory before those July tariffs hit.
And rail intermodal is up 10% year over year. People are shifting to the tracks to avoid those $6 diesel prices.
Well, if I may, Amazon just did a $25 billion bond sale yesterday to fuel their infrastructure. That's a massive vote of confidence in the recovery.
It's a championship-winning play. They're locking in capital because they know capacity's about to get even tighter in the second half.
And we're seeing it in the technology, too. ABB just launched that Flexly Stack F712 forklift.
That's the one with visual slam, right? No reflectors or tape needed on the warehouse floor?
I don't know about a visual slam. I just want a robot that doesn't run into my shins when I'm on the dock.
It uses vision and lasers to map the environment just like a human would. They can deploy them 20% faster because they don't need fixed markers.
Look, it's about removing latency taxes. The time it takes to set up old-school automation is just money down the drain.
Well, actually, it also handles 2,000 kilograms and reaches over 8 meters. It's for the massive, high-density hubs, not just the local shop.
The thing is, if that computer glitches and drops 4,000 pounds of cargo, I don't care how many lasers it has.
That's why we have Elena, Buck, to remind us that lasers can fail too.
Look, we should probably mention the SEED Act before we get out of here. It's a $1 billion life raft for the fuel crisis.
Is that the biodiesel credit? Jesus Guerra from Pilot was talking about that.
Right! Reinstating the $1 per gallon credit. It's been costing the industry $2 billion a year since it expired.
I suppose we should also track the New World screwworm outbreak in Texas. It's not just a vet issue, it's a transport lockdown.
I mean, 32 cases in 21 counties. If you're hauling cattle out of Texas right now, you're hitting inspection checkpoints every 50 miles.
It's sort of a biological bottleneck, right? A single infested trailer can shut down an entire state's livestock industry.
Well, actually, there was a case in New Mexico on a dog with no travel history. That means it might be spreading undetected.
That's a high-stakes quarantine. If the livestock industry hits a wall, that ripples through the whole reefer segment.
That's a tough week for the road. But at least we can remember one of the guys who built it. Don Freeman from Fast Freight passed away.
89 years old. From a dock worker to a $1 billion logistics empire. That's the real high road, isn't it?
He was a relationship guy. He knew that freight moves on handshakes, not just code.
I suppose his legacy is a reminder that precision and form matter, whether you're running a $1 billion fleet or just a single unit.
I mean, he was a giant in the intermodal game. We're all driving on the path he cleared.
That's a wrap for today's High Road. We covered the energy whiplash in Hormuz, the death of broker preemption, and the robots taking over the warehouse. Stay safe and watch your parking polls.
Later. Bye.
Peace out.
Remember, complacency is the precursor to catastrophe.